Just need to put into this straight question, because they often seem to be hide around jargon, right? The Universe from Nothing. Have you read that book?
No.
Right. I suggest you read that book, and then you realize at all of this book, at the end, he's actually arguing the universe came from something. And the whole book title is The Universe from Nothing. What a real deception by a world-renowned, esteemed professor, a scientist. I asked him one of this book signing, and you know what he said? But I explain it in my book, that my nothing is something. No, nothing is nothing. Don't redefine nothing as something. That's a deception. So can non-existence, which is absolutely nothing, give rise to existence?
Well, as I told you, I don't know. Maybe
you do know. You do know. But
No,
you're not
I
willing
don't
to
know.
accept it.
No.
In my definition, this non-existent doesn't have anything. No energy, no quanta,
mate.
no fluctuations, no gravity, no virtual reality, virtual worlds or virtual particles, absence of everything. Such a thing, which is no thing, cannot give rise to something. That by definition. If we exist now as something, can there be any time when there was absolute nothingness?
You know what? Let me tell you something. The best thing about science, what I like the most about science, is that scientists are not afraid to say we don't know. We don't know. We've got no conclusive answer yet. Unlike religion. Religion knows everything. Science does not.
Can you focus on the question?
I'm focusing on the question. I'm just telling you. You're talking about definitions, nothing, something. Linguistics, they have nothing to do with this, you know.
Can science operate without logic and language?
Science operates with logic. Science
Logic
obviously
and
operates with
language. Can you have
But
logic without
scientists-
language?
But scientists do not use the like the morphemes, the way the word is constructed, to reason something.
Okay. Do you know why? Do you know this question is very difficult for the atheists? Do you know that? Do you know how many atheists I've discussed this question with? And every single time, the atheist is on the back foot, and as if like, it's time to go home. You know, I've got a party to attend, or we don't know. Many
Why
other
are you so
excuses.
belligerent?
Listen.
No,
no.
why?
What does it mean belligerent?
Belligerent, like you're waging a war against.
Look, I'm not waging a war against you. I'm simply saying, you know what something is. If I say I have no money in my wallet, you don't mean, oh, but you may have a bank that you can borrow money from. You may have a friend. I'm simply saying I have no money on my wallet. If I have no money on my wallet, and I have no banks, and I have no friends to borrow or anyone to borrow, can I give you £50?
Obviously you can't.
Why not?
You've got no sources of money.
So I have no money. You understand what no money is?
Yeah, but that's because we agree what no
Hang on.
money means.
Right. So you know what no money means? No money. Nothing means no thing. So can no thing make something? It's simple. It's simple. But it's the reason why you are not willing to accept it, because it has consequences of accepting it. Because that means two things. I'll tell you. You don't have to answer it. It's a rhetorical statement. I've asked many times, and I know the answers many times, but given. If something exists today, there has to be always something. Problem number one. Now we are dealing with eternity of something. Something always has to exist. Always. Either it's our universe, our cosmos, or another universe or another verse, multiverse that gives rise to the universe. There has to be something always in existence. Or the creator who created this cosmos, who has to always exist. You have no other option. So now the atheists are put on a really difficult corner, and that is why you will find it difficult. Maybe you are an exception. Maybe you can tell me actually no. Nothing which has nothing whatsoever can give rise to something in this way. Would you like to share that with me?
You seem to be so obsessed with common sense reasoning. Do you know that common sense is actually bullshit?
Can you talk about something and nothing rather than common sense,
I'm
right?
talking about this. I'm talking about...
You talk about everything else apart from this subject matter.
Sorry, could you please be a bit more calmer, because I don't like the way you're talking to me.
I wasn't talking to you. I'm just talking to the crowd at the same time. They have to listen to me. Some people have to listen to me as well. So I'm going to shout at them, not at you. If you think I'm shouting at you, I do apologize. It's not intentional.
7 to 8 minutes.
No problem. No problem. So we need to really have an answer in 7 to 8 minutes in this discussion. God willing.
I just want to tell you why I disagree with your reasoning in general.
Mm-hmm.
When you talk about the example with the money and nothing and something, and the definition of these words. You're involving common sense, yes?
Common sense is not good. Carry on.
Yes. But many things actually that are true go against common sense. They go against what we find obvious. And that's why I say I don't know. From the point of common sense, it seems impossible for something to appear out of nothing. But again, I know that there are a lot of things in nature that seem like
Have you seen anything
mind-boggling.
coming out from nothing? Have you seen anything coming out of nothing? Because a scientist observes. It's an observation method. Scientism or science is based on observation and repeatability. Have you seen anything coming out of nothing?
I've seen a plane coming out of the sky, out of nothing. This is the reasoning.
If this is the level of your scientific inquiry, then I suggest you need to learn a bit more about science, how it works. This plane didn't just pop into existence just like that. It came from a particular place, maybe I call it an airport, right? So if you were to say, for example, when you talk against common sense and intuition, maybe you don't exist. It's possible, right?
If we
Is
agree
it
on
possible? Is it possible, even though it's counterintuitive, goes against common sense, maybe you don't exist? Is it possible?
If we agree on the definition of the word exist, then yeah.
Why do definition become important now? That's exactly what I was trying to do earlier. I was defining my nothing, and I was defining what something. If you are going to base your argument, base the arguments on the definitions that we're working on. So our working model, like evolution, doesn't mean banana come from apes. That doesn't mean, that's not how evolution works, right? It's defined in a particular working paradigm. Likewise, nothing has a definition, something has a definition. If you really want to discuss this matter, this is the subject. Sorry.
I have accepted.
Can something arise from nothing? Simple.
Is it going online, by the way? Is it going online?
It's probably live as well. So
Can I
people are
watch
in.
I want to watch myself later.
Yeah, do watch it. So now, engage with me, please. Can something arise from absolute nothing?
I told you already, and I'll repeat my answer. You'll tell me no, you do know, but I will still say I do not know, and I've got my reasons to say that.
What are
But
your
the
reasons?
The reasons I told you that first of all, a lot of things are counterintuitive, and even if I accept the definition of nothing as the absence of matter, from the perspective of common sense, it seems improbable. But then I understand that, well, it can happen, maybe I just don't understand it. Because brains are biased. Brains are the product of evolution. Of course they are biased. You know, we can't see we can't see the small water droplets, we can't see molecules, but bacteria probably can. That's the reason. They can sense them. Also, what I was trying to say, sorry, I study statistics at a university, and the normal distribution, the bell curve, it looks like this, and it fades very quickly. But the range, the domain of which it is defined, is minus infinity to plus infinity, which means that if we were to take, predict a height of a person, the average height is say 175. The deviation is 10 centimeters, which would tell us that 99% of the people are within the range of 145 to 205 centimeters. But statistically, we can find a person who's
50 meters tall.
Yes.
50 meters tall, yeah?
Yes, statistically we can, because
50 meters tall, a person. Do you know how much is 50 meters?
I know
How much? Can you show me? Roughly size of the tree?
2 trees.
Yeah, so we can find a person 50 meters tall.
Yes. The probability would be probably 10 to the minus 500, so it would be almost zero, but it will never be zero. Like, you can Google normal distribution, you can see the bell curve, it doesn't...
Can I give you an example of something that, let's see how you put it in your distribution curve.
Yes.
A triangle with 4 sides.
A triangle with 4 sides.
Yeah. Put it on
This
your
is-
distribution curve
this
and
is
tell
not
me,
an-
please, I'm giving you an example of a triangle with 4 sides. Is it possible? Don't say it's impossible, because in your definition, everything is
No.
possible.
Wrong.
may be highly improbable.
You're wrong.
Okay, so something coming out of nothing, is it probable or impossible?
You're wrong about triangles. I'm not going.
No, I'm talking about examples now.
No,
so when we talk
this
about,
example is flawed. You know why? Because
why is it
all
flawed?
triangles have three sides by definition. So
By definition.
100%.
Exactly.
100% of triangles. This is not a normal distribution.
Right.
This has nothing to do with normality.
So you answered my question. Thank you very much.
Well,
By
talking about
definition, a triangle has 3 sides, not 4 sides. So you cannot talk about a triangle having 4 sides or 5 sides because by definition it's restricted to 3 sides. By definition, my nothing was restricted to absence of everything. So you cannot then say, when the absence of everything is, it can bring about something. Nonsense. Do you see how your counterintuitiveness doesn't help? Because now I can say, look, it's counterintuitive to have a triangle with 4 sides. It's counterintuitive. How can you have it? How can you have a triangle with 4 sides? It's counterintuitive. It doesn't make sense. I'm arguing on your behalf. It doesn't make sense. But you will then say, but it's possible. But you argue again against yourself. But it's not possible because of definition. So I've already defined, by definition, nothing is the absence of everything. So how can it even make something when it doesn't even have anything? It has no energy to make anything. It has no gravity, no fields, no quanta, no quarks, no leptons, hadrons, gluons, boson, Higgs, whatever. It cannot originate something. This is how simple it is to dismantle the atheist claims. The claim I was asking to dismantle about this atheist of not yourself, you may be a very interesting individual with views which are not really crazy as many atheists. Atheists believe or non-believe in a creator because of the absence of belief. If you ask them, what belief, what will make you believe, what evidence? There is no evidence on planet Earth or in our cosmos that you can give that will convince them, because there is no evidence that will be convincing. That means the question of, oh, I'm atheist because there's no evidence, is really a very rhetorical statement, because you are not open to any evidence.
So
You're simply saying there is no...
Are you talking to me or are you talking to the audience? Because
Now, would you like to tell me about something and nothing? What are your reasons, apart from counterintuitiveness, that nothing can generate something?
Sorry, this is just crazy, because you said something about atheists, that atheists believe that the creator does not exist. That's not how a mind of a scientifically based atheist works. That's not. Scientists.
What scientific proof would convince them? You said about the origins of life, right? Let's focus on that. Develop that. Origins of life.
Yeah.
Obviously, no scientist was there, so it's a projection. It's just
Modeling.
It's just the modeling, right?
But there
so
is
now,
evidence, actually. There is evidence.
no. These are all abiogenesis. How many models of abiogenesis are there? Many. Okay, and still scientists won't say this is how it happened.
There is a dominant,
But, yeah. Again, these are all theories. You cannot say this is exactly how it happened,
But
can
know
you?
why some theories are more popular with other?
I'm not interested in
with
popularity. I'm interested in proof. There is a difference between popular theories and proof. For example, the Earth, many people come here and they discuss the Earth is actually a flat disk.
Yes.
Right. Now, to them, there are many popular theories. They don't want to accept it as a fact when actually you can go outside the Earth and observe it all around, whether it's a disk or not. They're not willing to that evidence. I'm asking, what evidence will convince atheists that the creator exists? The evidence that the universe was life was created by a God. How do you know God created it? Because it may be counterintuitive that God created it, and you are open to that possibility. You can't bring that as an evidence.
He hasn't got the answer, bro.
No. You're finding it, look, you're finding it difficult. I'll tell you why you're finding it difficult to speak to me. Because you're finding out this person is so difficult to reason with. Why? Because I'm putting you in a corner. The corner that the atheists are trying to escape from. Not yourself only.
No,
You're not the only one.
Salam corner.
Yeah, in the salam corner.
I actually like talking to you.
I know.
because
So I'm going to leave it to you.
You let me.
Yeah, he will let you speak and get out of the corner. But when I
no,
speak,
no.
no atheists come out of the corner. They remain there.
You can speak to him. You know everything, but let me tell you. You
I didn't say I know anything.
No, I didn't. You didn't let me answer the questions. You were fundamentally wrong about atheists. Fundamentally
You
wrong.
had your chance. You can speak to my brother. He's more willing to listen to you.
You need to watch yourself.
on YouTube. Okay. That's not mine.
No, no, this one.